Hello my beautiful Rainbow Slide community, welcome to your next reading. So this reading is going to be about the next 4 to 5 weeks to come. It's a timeless reading, so whenever you clicked on this reading, this is going to show you exactly the next weeks ahead. By the time I'm recording this, it is May 2024, so if you click on this reading exactly at this time, then you can also of course take it as a monthly forecast reading for this month. For reading number 1, you are going to start with the confidence card over here, and it says it comes time and practice. As well as some oracle cards and a few tarot cards by the end of the reading of the Modern Witch tarot deck. For group number 2, we have the storm card over here, and it says every hurricane comes to an end. And for you as well, some oracle cards, and the tarot cards will be from the Everyday Witch tarot deck. You can choose either pile 1 or 2 if you feel drawn to both of the piles or both of the tarot card decks here. You can also watch both readings. Maybe there's going to be messages for you in both of the readings. The timestamps you will find in the description below. So without any further ado, let's get into your reading. Hello my beautiful pile number 1, this is going to be your reading, and you chose the confidence card over here. And with this card I get a very strong withdrawn feeling here, and it's interesting that on her back she's sitting like in a train, and on the back that she is on the side we have these Ace of Swords. So let's see if there's other swords card here or cards that show some clarity, but I already get the sense that during this month or the next weeks ahead for you, you are kind of withdrawn, or you long for, you wish to withdraw yourself. Maybe you are going on a journey somehow, and you are reflecting things from the past, and especially concerning things of like your behavior and things like matters of self-confidence and self-worth. Feelings of not feeling good enough for this life phase at the moment, or being uncertain, unsure about certain things. And we also have number 23 over here, and this very ensuring saying at the bottom here, confidence, it comes with time and practice. So it gives me a clear energy of a younger person, or a person who hasn't matured as much at the moment, no matter what age they are. And it's like a reassurance here that this confidence that you seek, you already probably have it inside of you, and you need to unlock it. You need to find a way to unlock it somehow. But be sure it will come with time, and the way to unlock confidence is not just by someone like me saying to you that just be more confident in this or that situation. This is something that really needs a lot of practice in life, and sometimes we know theoretically what to do in certain situations, but life will throw us into enough situations for us to be able to practice the things that we have already learned. But to be able to do that, we need to sit back, reflect, maybe go out for a walk, maybe even go on a trip like she is, to gain some clarity for ourselves. So let's see. Then we have the Arrows card. The Arrows. The Arrows card always gives me a sense of like, okay, this could be about confidence in the matters of love here, but I have the feeling like probably you are longing for some kind of new start, probably some desires you have. Maybe you had it your whole life, these kind of desires, but you haven't reached those desires yet, and those kind of goals that you set for yourself. And desires could be anything. It could be desired for different kind of income, kind of some desires for a certain type of abundance you haven't reached yet, or desire for different types of art and friendships, maybe even to surround yourself with with pleasurable things, whatever that is for you. And in the worst case, it can talk about obsessions and addictions, certain projections we might have on life, on people. But the Eros energy is also like the true Eros energy in the best sense is kind of like awakening our desires. And maybe you are needing to step back here from whatever you're doing in your life at the moment, to be able to awaken this life force energy. And I guess in the next few weeks you are able to do that. Maybe because you already know, because you are going on a trip, or you try to take some time out. And if you already know it's not possible for you because you have a lot of work to do, maybe try to find enough space and time on the weekends for you, even if it's just one evening during the next weeks to come, for you to take some time for yourself, to reflect, to write things down, to journal, or to meditate, go out in nature. And but I think especially time in solitude, I get this feeling here, and reflect on the things that you desire. Then we have the card "You Are Good Enough." That's a very nice sign here already. So if you question, I see the connection here with the confidence, and probably thinking about if I'm good enough to, will I ever reach the things that I desire? Do I have what it takes? Or kind of imposter syndrome maybe, and procrastinating. And the cards are validating here that yes, you can have what you desire, you are good enough. But let's see, maybe the cards have some message about how you can reach that, how you can, stagnation here, that makes sense. The lizard and the pitcher plant. The lizard is an animal that can... I try to say it the other way around. The pitcher plant is a plant that is always drawn, tries to draw insects inside, because it's a carnivore plant. It is eating those insects, and it has some kind of perfume to draw in the insects. And the same thing is going on with this lizard. And the lizard it's a toxic lizard, at least toxic to other creatures, and it's a bit dangerous for smaller creatures to come across this lizard here. But for this plant as well, for this lizard, this is a very it's necessary to do that. So whoever put you in this unsure, unconfident situation, or whatever life situation did that to you, that's how life is playing out sometimes. And we are encountering certain type of people or work situations or whatever that make us feel uncomfortable. And maybe you feel like this little fly that is entering this pitcher plant here, and feeling stuck, because inside this plant there's this kind of moist that is keeping the insects stuck. So they can they see the way out, but they cannot reach it anymore. And maybe this is the feeling. I have this feeling that this is probably the feeling that that's how you feel, you know. And maybe you also feel stuck in a certain area in your life, at a certain place, maybe in the place that you live, or at this work, or in this job, this profession you do, or maybe in a relationship. And I think this is how you are going to enter this month and this next weeks here. This is the feeling probably that you are in right now. And you are trying to gain some clarity on it here. You are trying to get out of it, and you are trying to find some information, some tools, how to be able to. And you probably procrastinate the things that you are needing to do. And this card is also saying sometimes that there's something you probably have a lot on your plate at the moment, and there's certain things that you need to find some clarity about, because you cannot do all of these things at once all the time. And there's some of these things maybe one thing at least you have to let go somehow. You have to leave behind. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe there's something you can try to figure out, to find some clarity on which thing that is, and maybe you are already haunted by knowing what that could be. For instance, if you are in a relationship that isn't working well, or didn't work out the way you may want it to, then that can put us in an extreme freeze mode and feeling stuck situation here. But for every transformation, we always need to find some time, some solitude for ourselves, and to be able to see where we want to go ahead from there. Then we have this beautiful card with imagine and envision here. I love this card. It came up in some reading that I did weeks before, and I think it already came up twice maybe, so this could be the third time now. And I love this card because this card is saying you can reach whatever you want as long as you keep on holding on to your hopes and dreams and visions. And like it says, a vision, you can always envision it. And so this is just reminding here that in order for you to gain this clarity that you're seeking, try to think about all the desires again, the arrows. This is probably all these different things you can desire. Maybe it's love, maybe it's a relationship, friendship, money, wealth, and power, maybe certain type of luck and a good time in nature, building a house, having a safe home, enjoying the time with your children or with your pets and your family. But whatever it is, I have the feeling it's a message of getting your priorities straight here. Remember your priorities, and if you never were thinking about this before in your life, maybe you should start on thinking about what are your priorities, and then try maybe to go from there. If the priorities and the desires you have, if they match, or if there's an imbalance there, because sometimes we are attracted to some kind of people or situations or job offers, but they are not in sync with our priorities. But if we have a practice, not just a one-time practice, but a practice that we do every other week or once a month, where we or maybe every day, if we have 5 minutes in the morning, where you can sit down and imagine and envision the things you desire. And it doesn't have to be a lot of things. Maybe it's just 3 things you come up with, but as long as they are in sync with your priorities, you can meditate on these things and try to hold the picture of the things you desire in your mind. Then we have two, I remember when I shuffled this deck, two cards came out. And let's see what it is. It has the Two of Swords with mental conflict and moving on. The Six of Swords, so two swords card. So here we have the Ace of Swords, energy, finding clarity, and it makes a lot of sense. Again, like all these cards are really like coming down to this first card over here. Yeah. I guess all this reflecting could also mean in the stagnation that you are in, with that you have a lot of, it creates a lot of conflict, mental conflict here. Either you have the conflict and you need to get out of it, or thinking about all these things is creating over time a mental conflict. Maybe you have different responsibilities and you are juggling with all these different things, and you are not able to see which of these things maybe you can give to someone else, delegate some of these things if possible. And I guess during the next weeks you will find the strength again to move on from this kind of negative ruminating thoughts here. This is a very clear reading so far. There is nothing that I have to go into deeper, and to there's no card that is not making sense over here. And I have this feeling it is also not about, it's probably, maybe for some of you, but probably not about a specific situation. Like when the arrows card came out here, I thought, okay, maybe this is leading towards a relationship situation here for most people. But I have the feeling it's probably a groundbreaking energy here in general for your whole life. Maybe you are at a situation where you are on the edge of something groundbreaking for you, and you're not seeing it at the moment, but you know you need, or you already have the sense of getting down to it. And the cards are saying the way to get down to these things could be through journaling, visualization, affirmation, reminding yourself constantly. It's also interesting, let me finish what I just wanted to say. Just remind yourself constantly on the things that you desire. You don't have to act on them in that moment. Visualization is only there to visualize. The act, to act up upon them, comes after. You know? Don't get overwhelmed by all these things that you may want. Try to figure out why you want them, and what of these things you can maybe reach sooner and others maybe can come after. I am personally someone who is a lot of times distracted by so many things, the things that are not working and the things that I want, and then they are all in my head, and I need this reflection time very, very often to remind myself, what are the next steps, and what of the things that I want should I like a priority list, like what things comes first and what things I maybe can try to take action on in a half year or next year or something. Okay, so let's look at your tarot cards here. So the first tarot card is the Empress card. Oh wow, that's nice. The Empress card. It's also saying like you're good enough. You have everything what it takes, I guess. Or during the next weeks you're coming into, maybe after moving on from this negative thought pattern here, you will remember that you are the Empress. Oh yeah, and now I remember what I just wanted to say before I was trying to say something else. I just saw that the girl on these two cards, they look alike. They look like twins, you know. They have glasses and they have this red hair. Maybe it's someone you know. Maybe there's a message here, or maybe you look a bit like that, or it gives you an idea of, or maybe it's just an indication. It could be also just an indication that there's a huge connection here. To get out of this situation, you need to do that, and you know, the other way around. But this is interesting, and also it gives me the feeling of someone in the same age range. Like it could be like, yeah, like a twin situation, but it's like the shadow side here, where this person is constantly thinking, overthinking, and is trying to on the search of her self-worth. And this person realized that it's all in her hands, and they are like in the same situation. They have probably nothing better to do at the moment. Maybe they are both stuck, but she is trying to get out of it through bringing things in order and envisioning her future life, and she is ruminating here, or in some kind of fear at least. And yeah, so I just saw the star card at the bottom. That's good. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles. I would just put them all out. Nine of Pentacles, then the Eight of Cups. Again, Eight of Cups, leaving, and the Star card. Yes, card. That's very, very nice. So, okay, what do I see here? I see that, again, like this moving on, the Six of Swords and the Eight of Cups, in a lot of readings, they come together. If one of these cards shows up, it's just a matter of time that the other card is showing up sometimes, because they have a similar energy. But here in the Six of Swords, you are in this state of you are moving on, but life is forcing you to, and you are a bit hesitant. It's the same energy like she is in. She is on her journey because maybe someone told her, or maybe because she applied for a new job and now she's moving there, but she really doesn't know what is ahead in front of her. She feels very insecure because of the past hurts. And in the Six of Swords, we take all of our swords, all the things we learned, but also all the heartaches with us as life lessons. And we have no clear idea what the future is bringing. And this card is saying the future will be good. It's just that you can't, right at the moment, you cannot see it. For some reason, it's hidden from you. But it's necessary. This change, this step is necessary. And it's either a step in your head that you have to make, or really like in the outside world. Literally like a step. Maybe it's also like going out and search yourself in nature, like going for a hike at least once during the next weeks, and if possible maybe a few times, and going out for a walk to clear your head and to regain some clarity. And here in the Eight of Cups, this person is walking away, not because life is forcing it. I mean, a bit, yes, but it's actually because she is fed up with, or he or she is fed up with this situation, like the emotions, the past hurts also. But it's like this person has this feeling of there must be something more. There must be something more, and I don't want to stay here. I know what these cups are. I want to find the next cup. I want to leave this behind, because this keeps me in this kind of moon shadow self kind of emotional state. And there's a lot of water here in those just 4 cards, at least in 3 of those cards. And even the plants, they need water to grow, so the water aspect is everywhere here. We have this river here in the Empress card. Here's the ocean, or a lake. And the Star card also is talking about pouring the water. It's like the universe is always giving us enough whenever we decide to. Like in kind of like also we have to achieve certain things, but the universe knows when it's time for us to replenish and to vacate. And I also see twice wish fulfilling, maybe 3 times here, kind of like it's talking about desires. Then we have imagine and envision, because there are things coming in here very, very clearly. Also with the Empress card, there's going to be some wish fulfilled here, but I have the feeling this wish is very strongly connected to you, because we don't have much other people. There's one single person in each card living in solitude, but coming to an emotional state where at the beginning there's a fearful state, and then it's a moving on phase, and then and then there's kind of like realizing all the things that you have in life that you have accomplished, or maybe probably inside of yourself, maybe also through work. You definitely put a lot of work into yourself here and made your garden grow already. You just probably have a different perspective, and you need to change this perspective and see all the things that you have. And I also find it interesting, we have this little bird on top of her head here. I always see so many things in the cards, and here with the moving on card, I can never say what he is holding in his hand. Since I have this deck, I don't know what this is, but it looks to me like a bird. You know, it's like a bird with a very, very long tail here. But I know it's not a bird. It probably isn't really meant to be a bird. I really don't know. Maybe it's a Christian symbol thing, some kind of religious thing that I don't know. Sorry guys, but yeah, it's funny. Looks like it also has the same size. Looks like two little birds here. And birds are symbols of like good news, and it has not a lot, but some different meanings. But in the end, with the star card also, it is always saying that now is the time for you to get watered by the universe, you know, because you chose in the past maybe, or you are about to choose to get out of the dark, deep waters here, and you were confronting yourself, like your shadow side, and now it's time to be in the Empress mode. And it's interesting, you have two strong big arcanas here. We don't have that much tarot cards in this reading, but you do have those two. And I also see this connection here with the Arrows card has also an aspect of the Empress in it, because the Empress card is the archetype of being in fulfillment completely, in this complete fertilized state. And she has everything she desired. She has accomplished it, or it was given to her, and she is just enjoying it. And here we also have like a complete, she's not just growing it like in the Seven of Pentacles and has to wait for the fruit. Here she can harvest already her vegetables and fruits. And the Empress also has on her dress this limes or citrons. So there's, I guess life is giving you already enough. Maybe you just have to remember it, or you have to go out there and get it. And you chose to. I mean, yeah, it gives me the feeling of choosing yourself and choosing solitude to gain clarity, to remember the things, or maybe to come up with new ideas for your life. Maybe the old ideas didn't work, or maybe you never thought about it before, and there's some work you put in here, a lot of work, maybe a lot of emotional hard work, or hard work because you have had some past hurts here, and maybe a lot of past hurts, and you are choosing to not to reflect on the past hurts, for you to be able to go towards your wish fulfillment here. So my beautiful group number 1, this was your reading. I hope you will find some solitude time to reflect on things and to start envisioning your life again, to get out of your head, to get out of this negative thought pattern that you might have. And this reading is saying very clearly, by the end of those weeks here that are about to come for you, there will be a very huge blessing. Try to be open for that. Try to practice some me time, and so that's what I have for you here, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in one of my other readings. And if you feel drawn to reading number 2, maybe I see you over there. Bye bye. Hello, my beautiful group number 2. Welcome to your reading. So you picked the Storm card here, and I immediately, when this card flipped out of the deck while I was shuffling, and I looked at it, and I was reading the word storm, then I was immediately thinking of all the hurricanes and tornadoes that are hitting the United States at the moment, and with all the houses in the background, it gave me this image of people losing their houses and homes and loved ones, sometimes in the worst cases, or animals, and I guess it's okay. I don't know what I'm trying to say here with that. It just reminds me on that, and I guess I just want to say that I hope that you are safe wherever you are. And a storm does not only necessarily has to talk about like literally a storm, of course. It could also talk about other very devastating things that are hitting people, like in the symbol of a storm. It could be war, it could be other very bad climate changing weather situations, and but I have the feeling this is a very present thing for a lot of people around the globe, and especially climate change, for instance. This is something that a lot of like every country is experiencing parts of that, either through refugees that are like trying to find new places to live, or you are one of those countries where you have so much struggles through those climate changes, or wars that are happening, or similar things that that you have no other way out there than to just refuge. Like I'm just saying that because it's the image I get from this picture immediately, without reading the energy of it, without going into the emotional meaning of the card. And I have the feeling just to let you know that if you know someone, or if you are personally a victim of such situation at the moment, at this time on this planet, then I want to let you know that my heart goes out to you, and that I hope that you are safe, and that I hope you can develop enough strength and have enough people around you to support you. And but it also says in this card here, every hurricane comes to an end, which is true, but the bad news is, in worst case, the houses and the places, the community that people used to know is completely destroyed. Maybe some lives are taken, but in a individual life, let's get away from this like society perspective here, or this earthly perspective. In the individual life, in your life, you as a watcher here, you probably are in a situation at the moment where you have experienced a storm, or you are about to. Let's see what the cards are saying. I hope that this is lying in the current past for you, or somewhere very much deep in the past. Maybe some experience you had of a storm in childhood, and you experienced how to overcome that. Maybe this is just a reminder card that is saying, look how you managed the storms of your lives that you had before, and look at what you have learned out of those situations. But let's see. We also have the number 44 here. The 4 is a number of stability, and 44 is referring to me as a reader a lot about this necessity of being stable in life and finding security either through the place that we call home or the community we live in. Yeah, and then we have from the archetype cards here, we have 2 cards in your reading. There were 2 cards that wanted to come out. So at first we have the self card, and then we have the mirror card. And okay, it's very interesting because in the self we always have like a mirror aspect of the self. Like if we are referring to the self, we do that because we are in a reflective state. I mean, we can never talk about ourselves without mirroring, like going inside. And I just try to connect the cards here, the meaning of the cards. If I have the feeling like this is the main card, and the mirror card is kind of like trying to talk about a certain aspect here. And with the storm card, there's something happened in the past for you or at the moment that you have to leave behind, or that you are leaving behind. And the self is usually a card that is talking about accepting the self. Like there's all these different parts of the self that we have. It's very colorful. Some of the parts we already know, some other parts are still unknown to us, but every human being has a variety of different parts that create then in the end the self. And then there's always this new aspect that we have not discovered yet, and that is shown here, represented in this card with this pearl in the middle. And usually it's talking about like a very beautiful part. So maybe you are running away from yourself somehow, but you should stop and maybe reflect on this thing that you haven't looked before. And the mirror card always gives me the image of like the mirrors of these times now. Of course we still have mirrors, like there's almost at least one mirror in each home, but especially since it's talking about the self, like I have this image of like someone with like who is taking a lot of selfies here, like using social media. Like the mirror can represent social media or whatever we do on the apps on the phone. The phone, of course, we can literally take pictures from us or from other people with our phone, with a camera, but in the worst case, it is like a very destructive way of looking at the self. And when we post things from us just to show that we hope or we think it's the best side of us, but it's not actually a real reflection of the self. It's like a very vain one, and which can lead to narcissism or some kind of, not lead to narcissism, but it has some narcissistic traits to do that too much. And I have the feeling the first message here is like, put everything away that is giving you those kind of anxieties that it can bring. So maybe shut off your phone a bit more, or use an app that is blocking certain apps for certain days for certain hours during the day. Maybe something like that could be a message here, in order for you to see the real self. I have the feeling there's all these outside influences, and maybe even a storm that was hitting your life, and you created an image of the self that is false, or some aspects of it that is false, and you need to stop reflecting. Maybe this is a similar message like group number 1. They also had started out their reading with the necessity of reflecting, but getting out of the head about it. And here it's more like getting out of maybe social media and trying to use those outside influences to understand your life and yourself. To really understand things, we have to go within, and for that we have to be still. And now we probably have the time that is going to come here, enough time, because the storm has passed, and now we have the time to reflect again and to look within. Okay. Yeah, so I guess I haven't checked those cards before the reading, and I haven't encountered both of the cards that much in my life, so there could be, maybe you can look online, because I don't have a guidebook. I always look online after a reading. If there was something unclear for me, then I try to check if it was valid what I said, and maybe I'm missing some part of the information here, but let's see what the other cards are saying. Maybe we're getting there, if something was missing yet. So we have, your dreams need a practical plan. Okay. Okay. So something regarding the self that maybe you are trying to change, or that you're reflecting, and maybe you are looking at all these things and cannot see this one thing that is already there. Could be. But there's a clear indication here, a clear hint that you need to have a practical plan, and maybe stop getting distracted by the mirrors of life, like really your phone, like you know. And now we have transformation and change. Okay, so that makes sense here with the storm card, transformation and change. We also have 2 cards here from this deck. Yeah, I remember that. Accept love and transformation and change. Okay, so of course it makes sense, like after a storm we can feel very scattered here, and the self can be like scattered into many pieces. And here we also have a piece of the mirror, like all these pieces you need to collect now and to build a new self. Maybe something very traumatic happened in your life, and now you feel called to transform, or life is calling you at least, to be able to one day accept love. And maybe not just one day, probably in the next weeks you are coming to a place, to some kind of realization about your life that makes you being able to accept love again into your life. And love can, I guess so far I have the feeling it is concerning the self, so probably it's talking here about self-love and about how loving you are towards others in general, not just in relationships. But let's see. We will see if there's another hint. And it's interesting, the triangle here in the pot where she's pouring her love soup. There's this triangle, and of course the triangle has usually the meaning of the whole divinity, the whole like the Trinity, I think it's called, like the Holy Spirit in all the aspects, the divine feminine, masculine, and the divine, and all of those threes need to work together for you to be able to come to the right conclusion here. But it also gives me the image of this mirror here, this triangle of the mirror. Maybe there's some kind of wisdom in the mirror for you. Yeah, of course, mirror is the thing that the self is looking into, like you are looking into the mirror to find yourself sometimes. And maybe you should try to do it with a bit more love, or should just do it, and then you will find your self-love again, I guess. But a mirror can always show us show us all the things that maybe we don't like about ourselves. So I'm not saying just look into the mirror and then everything will be fine, but there's some rare cases where people start to see an aspect of themselves by that they haven't seen before by just really looking into the mirror and seeing that there is more behind this facade that we are looking at. And maybe that will happen to you, something like that, or maybe it's just a picture I give you here. I guess that it's what it is for most of you. It's just a picture, like that this is going to happen for you. And this can come, the mirror can also be another person, you know, a conversation you have, and that is showing you a new aspect of yourself, or one that was maybe, and it's an aspect that is considering self-love, self-worth here. But there's a need for transformation and change, because you need to go out there and to be with people again, or to be in a different way with people and your surroundings, your nature and animals. And we also have the butterfly symbol here, that is always talking about something, needing to leave something behind in order for you to be able to change and to transform. But that would mean it's a very similar message like in group number 1. But let's see. Then we have the frog and lotus with metamorphosis. Oh yeah. So again, just another validation here. It's talking about something inside of you is about to change, or and maybe it's very uncomfortable for you, because after a storm you have the feeling like everything is destroyed now. Maybe probably this transformation took place by an outside force. Maybe you just lost your job in the last days or the last weeks, and now you are left with nothing and you don't know where to start from here, or a relationship ended or something that is leaving us devastating. But it also gives us the chance now to calm and to reflect, and it's either saying that you are in the middle of a metamorphosis, or you are starting one here in the next weeks. Let's see. Now, of course, now we have a disruption. This is the Tower card. Again, another validation here for this disruptive energy, disruption. Mirror scatters. Like, look at it, it's so similar here also with the mirror. Like, you are feeling cut into pieces here. Or you maybe not cut into pieces, but you have the feeling you cannot pull the self together. Like, you see this one aspect of you and that one, but you cannot connect them, maybe. Or you feel completely scattered here by some event that happened in the past. And I would say now, with everything I see here, it could be a very traumatic event that happened way in the past for you, that is still lingering in your energy. And you have to realize now in the next weeks that there is a clue here, an answer. But you need to figure it out. You need to make a plan to find this pearl inside of you that is opening something up again, for you to be able to accept yourself. Okay, let's see what the tarot cards have to say. We have the Five of Swords here. Another brewing together energy. Like here, this witch is like brewing love, and this is like the opposite. The Five of Swords is always an energy of people coming together and create a very like an atmosphere of fights, and like the storm energy here, and maybe bullying or some kind of energy where people talk a lot but their words are hurting and not really helping. It's not really implementing some kind of plan, like a constructive conversations. It is conversations or fights, words in the end that are leaving you in this kind of disruption here. It makes a lot of sense. So something was very painful, hurtful, either in the past or in the current past, that is still lingering in your energy that you're dealing with. But yeah, there's already this indication of in order for you to puzzle the pieces together again, you need to make a practical plan. Maybe this is a transformation that is not just happening spontaneously, like sometimes in life is creating a transformation for us. Maybe this is a transformation that needs to come within, like you need to decide for it. Then we have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, so this is the same, I think, position here. But it doesn't matter, it's just 4 tarot cards. But we had this card in group number 1. So maybe you check that out. And it was also talking about this energy of leaving, like it always is, the Eight of Cups is leaving a certain emotional state behind. Maybe you are fed up with the situation of feeling that way, and now you are deciding, you made a plan here, and you are realizing, okay, you want more out of life than that energy, so you are moving on. Just like people who do lose their houses, their homes, have to go and refuge to other places. And it's sad, but that's just a necessity of life that is calling in such moments. And it's not saying that those things were not fulfilling when they came into our life, all these different cups, but sometimes in life we feel it's not enough, and we have the feeling that there is more. And look how confident both of these people are here. Both of the witches, I have to say, are walking away, you know. Maybe she is a bit sad still, but she is not looking around and turning around. She is moving on, and she has packed her bag, and here even more self-assured that you want to change, or yeah. And sometimes, like in family or friend situations, you cannot change other people, or in relationships. Maybe then it's best just to leave all the swords where they are, let those people fight, but you decide that you need a better group of people. Then we have the Five of Swords. No, Five of Wands. We cannot have the Five of Swords, we already have. So we have a lot of 5 energy here. We have the Tower card here. So there is a lot, this Storm card, a lot of struggle that happened to you. A lot of disagreements with people. In group number 1, we did not have much group cards, and here we have 2 group cards. Like situations where we're arguing with other people, or they are arguing with us, and it's very not very grown-up energy. Yeah, people hurting each other with words, with their action, so much that even the cats are fighting here. A lot of disagreements, just challenges in general that you had to face. Yeah. And maybe the fear that you still have, you are moving on, but you are also, part of you is still fearing that this could happen again. Like this could happen again, literally. And look how we have all this, how they are brewing something here. Like here, this is a group of people brewing something, here a group of people, but here it's you. You are brewing your own soup here now. You realize that it's in your hands. If you want to change something, it's only up to you. Of course you can ask other people, but there's the saying, when too much cooks are cooking a meal, that it can destroy the meal. If there's too much cooks involved. Yeah. Yeah, and then we have the Nine of Pentacles here. And the Nine of Pentacles is also was there in group number 1. Yeah, it was also there. I think it was in this position, but it doesn't matter. So we have 2 indications here for group number 1. And the Nine of Pentacles is the wish fulfillment card. Is again, in the end, a similar message, just with different past here, or different reasons for you to come to the conclusion of leaving something behind, leaving destructive energies, probably people behind. Also, disruption is not only bad. It's every time when a storm is hitting, when the tower is falling, it comes in the form of that it wants to free us. And there's parts of us we need to free here, parts of ourselves. And maybe you depended on the opinions on other people a bit too much, and you realize that they couldn't make things better for you, so now you have to pack your bags, move on. And there will be probably a lot of chattering behind your back. It could be an energy that is there, but try to ignore it, because in the end, when you start to do your thing here, you will end up in the Nine of Pentacles energy, and it's probably that you already are somehow not in this energy yet, but you have like this tree with all the pentacles, but you are not focusing on it. And once you focus on self-love, you can then have either better relationships here with people. But before we can have that, we need to have a better relationship with ourselves. And it gives me the feeling that she is brewing here this soup of love, and she is drinking it. Like she was harvesting love from the tree, gave it not to someone else, but like implementing it and brewing it. And for a great meal to happen, of course you can always improvise, but that's very risky. A better thing is to make a plan. And if you have a dream, you better make a good plan, because then you know where you have to go to. And yeah, and here at the end of those weeks, maybe you're going on a vacation, and you will be able to be alone for some time and to like find yourself again. And I have the feeling also she is not, she's not looking into a phone, she's looking into a book, and she's out in nature here in a garden. And she's really with herself, and she's learning, she's preparing, maybe even studying, but she is relaxed, and she is reaping some of her rewards here, and she is happy over all the decisions she made, how to leave this situation here, this scattered mindset and scattered self. And here she's completely whole. I wanted to say healed, but it's not so much about healing. I think I have the feeling this is more about preparing here and using your logic, the way you think about yourself, trying to transform it, and to be able to believe in yourself again, make then a practical plan, and that will create love, or will open you up to to have an energy of giving, because here we are in need. Here we need to receive, and that's good if we do receive something, but sometimes the things we want, we don't really receive. The last thing I want to say is, with the acceptance of love here, it's very important that we find a way, if we have problems with accepting love, the simplest way for practicing the acceptance of love is to accept compliments, to let them just be. And the best way is to just say, that's very kind of you, thank you. Don't try to talk yourself down or the compliment down, and also don't try to immediately give a compliment back. And I'm not talking about the compliments on social media, I'm talking about about the compliments in the 3D life. Even if someone is just complimenting your shoes and wants to know where you got them from, then you just say thank you and you tell them where you got them from and leave it at that, and don't try to find something at the other person that you can compliment as well. So, and I will just leave it like that, and I hope you have a nice week ahead in front of you, and I see you in your next reading. Bye bye.